Welcome back to another Thronefall video. So for Frostsee, you can't do all of the quests at once. 3 of them have a specific weapon that you need to do. However, you can accomplish quests D, E, and F at the same time, and it's not too bad. So you have to use the bow, and you have to have these 5 mutators: the Tiger God, Turtle God, Destruction, Wasp, and Death. You have to have those 5, and that is also more than enough to get you the high score of over 12,000, having all of them at once. The perks that I found were helpful are the Arcane Towers. I just really like to have that one along with the Power Tower so that the tower near us attacks faster and the increased range damage. I found that having fortified houses is just a nice benefit. It's one of the things that was more useful for me. And then also having the outpost, so 2 free towers in the distance, is very helpful. So we're going to hop into that. We are going to play through and show how to get those. So one of the first things is that it's quite a lot of people that are coming from there. So you kind of have to get the tower, and then you're just left with 1 coin left over. Which kind of sucks, but that's fine, because there's nothing else we can do about it. But having the additional tower attack speed, getting 1 tower, again, it's effectively 3 towers. It's just extremely helpful. And now we have a bunch of things that are spawning down here, and this is why we got the outpost, because now we have 2 towers down here that are going to distract the slimes. And that means that we can actually build the harbor without fear of it getting immediately destroyed. We're going to get house. We have the money for it, and houses can attack, so it'll be an extra line of defense in the future. There are a lot of waves that tend to have these slimes that are attacking. So what is very useful to help, defeat them are going to be actually the flail units, more so than any tower. Because the towers that we have here are going to be, they're going to take an extra day to recover, and then they're only going to recover part of their health. So, like, those towers are now out of commission for the next 2 nights, effectively. Or the next 1 night, but they're really hurt right now. But this is enough to get us through this night, and to invest in our economy early, and that's the primary use for doing that now. The other nice thing is we already have the tower here, so we don't need anything else to help benefit the, the wave this night. We just get some more of our houses. More income, always helpful. There are a lot of times where we have just like 1 coin left over, which is a bit annoying or frustrating, but it's fine. If you don't have the outpost, then then for night 2, you can't even get melee units, but you can get I don't think you can get melee units yet, right? No. You can't get melee units, but you can get the ranged units that either, what we do now is we get hunters because they're good against the slimes. So that will help defend here, because now these are just barely alive again. So now the slimes again are going to go and target down there. But we barely managed about 35 before with just 2 towers, and now the towers are very weak. So we need some additional source of damage there. Now, if we get the tower, it'll sort of draw them up to it first, so we don't really want to do that. But getting the house is fine, just so that as it's coming over, it's something that will be targeted. And we want to try and make sure that we keep our units alive. Because if all this goes up and targets our actual castle center and economy, that's gonna lead to disaster. So it's a lot of making sure that we draw the slimes down there while they're initially spawning in. So now we have 10. What we could do, and what can be very useful, is getting either the other level up, because the two things that are helpful are leveling up the castle center, making it so that we can start getting the other upgrades, or to focus on the blacksmith, but I like to get the castle center here. And then, let's see, we want the houses to level up, because they're also defense, these houses that we have, right? We have the ability such that the houses are spawning in, or shooting, rather. And then we have 3. So we are going to, once again, just get houses. The primary concern is being able to kill or get the siege engine in time, which we should be able to. Now these 9, I believe, are flying. They just go for economy. I tend to just get 1 tower. That's enough to deal with them. We have 1 tower. We want to make sure that our towers, our range damage, is even better. And then we don't need to focus on any particular upgrade right now. So we'll just boost our economy even more, because economy is always helpful. And then we'll get another harbor. If we get the harbor on the right, it's going to die immediately due to the fact that these guys are spawning in. So we'll get the one that's over there tucked away. And we don't really need to do much tonight either. I mean, we stand here to help out, make sure the tower attacks faster, but not much to do. Pretty easy night. If you get past the night with all the slimes, or the 2 nights with all the slimes, those are the most difficult early nights, as far as I can tell. And then you start to get more economy built up, especially if you upgrade the harbors. One thing that ends up happening is these will continue to just spawn, or just refill in time to attract all of these units over here and potentially up. And then sometimes, depending on what you have built, they'll try and come straight up towards your economy and your castle. Other times they'll try and work their way over here. But we should be fine in this specific situation that we have. We'll spend the 7 to double the harbor now, as opposed to waiting to do it in the future. And then we'll just continue to get houses, make sure our economy is well built up. And we have 3. Let's see. With 3, we're gonna just get this tower here. Now, the main thing that we want, we don't really need to spend too much time down here. They're both going to die, these 2 towers, but up top should be able to mostly deal with itself, depending on where the siege unit goes. Yeah, it's going over to this side. Oh, do I die? Yeah. That's fine. All the houses shooting in also is extraordinarily helpful. Okay. Depending on if you die or how you die, it can make it such that they destroy the harbor, and then, well, that's not very good, because that's a lot of your income at this point, is the 1 harbor. But, okay, and then I think it's when you add in that other tower is when they'll try and target this other side, as opposed to going straight up. Not 100% sure on that, but it makes it so that we're fine for the night and we don't have anything to worry about. and this getting destroyed is, well, you can, if you really need it to be rebuilt for that night, upgrading the tower does give it some of its health back. Let's see. Okay, so both of these are destroyed. So now we have 30 spike slimes and a bunch of the racers. So right for the castle center. So again, whenever it's the racers, that's when we want to have the walls built so that they'll target, well, the wall instead of just being able to run straight for the castle center. And we'll also get the flails that I said were very helpful earlier. So we get the flails, we make sure that those guys are inside, and then we have 2 or 3, so we'll just get another house. We don't have any towers, so it's okay to let them target or move forward a little bit, but we do want the other tower to still be in range. And we'll make sure that our units there are fine. And this is why I find the house being extremely useful, is because it's just easier to have the extra arrows, right? Because these guys are now going to go and destroy every single wall, because that's just what they do. And we didn't really spend too much on defensive structures on this side, but the houses are going to make it so that even if we lose them and we lose some of the economy tonight, we're not going to be completely in a horrible situation. Alright, so we lose 2 houses, and that's not too bad. Now it's a bunch of the people that run straight for the economic buildings. So for this, see, this one's destroyed, which is not great for that. But again, we can just upgrade it, and then it'll be there with a bunch of its health. And that's fine. And now is when we'll just sort of get a bunch of towers dotted around, because we have enough to make sure that we can do that safely. No concerns. While we're here, we'll also get another upgrade for range damage, because we rely on that a lot. And the continued spread of houses. A bunch of economy. I don't believe there's anywhere in particular that we have to worry about. There are plenty of towers that we have built up now. Maybe down here is the one spot if they get to overpower it too much, especially because they come from both sides for over here. So standing and helping out this tower just helps make sure that we don't lose this harbor. But overall, it's a relatively straightforward night. And this is sort of the first big joined wave all spawning from the same spot, where it's just a bunch of everyone spawning from down there. Now what I found helps is just getting the wall is helpful. I always forget to get this gold mine, but I'm not 100% certain if we necessarily need to get it. And then, well, it doesn't hurt to get extra defenses there. Now, part of what we have is the fact that our units don't respawn in the middle of the night. So what helps is just having a lot of units. If you have a lot of them, it doesn't matter if some of them die, because you're just going to have more. Now, what I'm trying to think about for this last ranged unit is whether or not it's better to go for longbow, which can help with these bigger waves that we see now, or the hunters that are useful in that final wave. And I think I'm going to go towards hunters. Because even if they're not the most effective against the people that we're seeing now, it doesn't mean that they're useless. What we will see, though, is that these towers are, again, going to get destroyed, right? This one comes back just in time to pull people over a tiny bit, and well, we know what's going to happen there. It's going to get destroyed. We have 20, which is quite a lot. And we'll just, that's not quite the last house, almost. But we have most of the economy that we can have, except for the harbor on the right side. We don't have that built up, which it costs 3 coins. We'll get it, because it'll most likely net us more than that in the long run. Although I do feel as though that one gets destroyed quite a lot. And then we'll leave this unupgraded so that we have the chance to upgrade it as we need in the future. And we have 8 more, so we'll just get more flails. We'll just come here, help out this tower, let it attack a bit faster while we are here. And then once it dies, we just scamper back up. Scamper up top. Ideally, we're going to let this tower attack faster, rather than the other tower, the outside tower. Once that one destroys, we're actually going to be a bit more effective than we would otherwise be, because now the upgraded tower is seeing the benefit of us standing near it. But we have plenty of towers, so it's not really something that we should be too concerned about. Oh. That should still be fine. So long as we stand near the towers that are going to target things. They have the towers which target what's closest. So they'll always be targeting that one that's right across from it until they get really close, which is a bit unfortunate, but it should still be perfectly fine. Because we just have so many towers in this area. And if you don't die, you shouldn't have to worry about this even getting close to being destroyed. That's only because I died, which was mainly because I wasn't paying attention. Now this is going to have people rush across. Actually, they might, oh no, they're down here. They're going to run across to target the harbor. And then these are going to go straight for myself. And these are going to go for anything. So again, these are just sort of towers that are going to constantly die down here, while we make sure that our defenses further up top are a bit safer, a bit better. And let's see. Yeah, we'll get more flails. No harm in getting flails. And we just have a bunch of money. Just more money than we know what to do with at times. But we do want to make sure that we start upgrading these things and getting extra towers. Even if they get destroyed now, we'll have money to upgrade them before the final night, so it's not something that we need to be concerned about. But it is something that's nice to have properly sorted out right now. And yeah, these are all going to come up top, and now we can have our units go down and defend. Ideally, we won't lose this harbor, but there's a chance that we do, but I think we should be fine. Sometimes I lose it, sometimes I don't, and I think this is one of the times that I'm losing it. I think it depends on how far forward I let these people go. Because if they're too close, then this is going to be targeting this more, or earlier. Let's see. Now we have a bunch of everything from everywhere, is the easy way to put it. And we sort of just get the little hub set up now, where we get everything leveled up a bit. well defended. Get the walls leveled up. Yeah, now is a good time to level up the walls everywhere, just to make sure that we don't have to worry about that with our funds in the last level. Although here we might want to let them get destroyed so that we have enough to actually upgrade them later. And then we have 5 coins. What do we do with 5? Suppose we upgrade here. Actually, wait, what we want, rather than that one, actually no, this is right. We want, let's see. Oh, is it the next upgrade? Okay. I think it's the next one. Which is the one that lets them spill the oil on everything that's nearby. Okay. This should be fine up here. They should be able to handle themselves. These are just going to be a bunch of people, some of which I believe chase me. Yeah, they chase down myself, and then these are Castle Center. So it's good to have the upgrades in the levels. And we'll get all of the hunters right in this little hideout, little home that we have built for them. And yeah, they'll be fine. And we can see up top that they're sort of dealing with the 30 people that are spawning there before they even really have a chance to get to the wall. Although they're just able to approach it at times, but that's still not too big of an issue. Not too big of a concern. Now this is fine that it's able to destroy the wall there, because it's not the side that things really come from to try to destroy them. In the final wave, it's more so from the top, and this is not a side that gets destroyed. So now we just have a bunch of money to level up towers and get them to the final stage, basically. So this one, we want to have hot oil. This one I like to get as the ballistic spire. But I do really like the ones that just shoot 2 arrows instead of 1 arrow. And we can upgrade one more fully. Which one do we do for that? I mean, we could level up this one just so that it comes back, which I think is what we're going to do. We are going to get ballistic spire for that one. And we have 3. I don't think there's anything we can really get with 3 at this point. Actually, we can upgrade a house. Because now that's going to shoot, like... Oh, I could have upgraded the wall. That should still be fine. That should be able to... Now the house is shooting, like, 4 times faster. I like to have them mostly up here. Although I am going to try and split the flails on either side. But I like to try to keep the hunters right in the middle there. And standing near this one that I made the ballistic spire is very helpful. I don't like the hunters going out because they end up dying. But you can see just the big chunk of damage that is dealt whenever the sniper tower ballistic spire actually gets a shot off that hits. It's just a big chunk of the health bar that goes away. Right, that big chunk that goes away is just this one tower shooting it. And standing near it, it's shooting about 3 times faster. No one's going to complain about that. That's a great deal. the units are mostly able to sustain. I mean, we're losing all the flails on this right side. Right, maybe there's a case to be made for ensuring that the flails don't just get absolutely decimated on the right side there. But the bulk of the strategy is honestly just standing near this one tower and hoping that it's enough. Well, not hoping, it's making sure that it's dealing enough damage to the main boss to actually be a threat to it. Especially in this spot, we want to make sure that we get rid of it fast enough so that it can't spawn in too many waves. Because I'm pretty sure the oil tower is just able to survive this. Yeah. So it'll help defend one more wave after this, but that's about it. Now it does tend to get a bit dicey at the end every time. It gets a bit close. And this is why having the houses is helpful, is just for this, when it's attacking straight up top. Even if we lost a lot of our units, we just have so many arrows shooting things here that it's relatively safe. Especially at the end, once the exterior towers that we have start to, well, be lost, as we see. The whole bottom right outpost down there is gone. The right side is falling a bit, the left side. Right, so, I mean, once this is done, then it's just that central final attack in the center. But again, it's not really something we have to worry about. If anything, the straight up attack that it has right near the castle center is among our safest positions, just because we have so many things here. Right, it loses health so much faster when it's way up here, just because of all the houses shooting it. And then that's it. The final 3 quests, done relatively easily. Right, we lose a decent chunk of houses at the end, or not houses, towers at the end, but that's fine, because that's not the castle. And then that should be enough to get us the 12,000, or 12,500. I'm guessing a different time I did this, I had slightly better base score, so not as many things getting destroyed, because there's a difference of 1,000. There was something that was different, but it still gets you the 12.5k needed for that one quest E, I think. But anywho, that is the final 3 quests for Frostsea, and that is how to do them all in one run. So, hope you enjoyed.